Off and running in the Bar 1 Royal Bun Novice Hurdle. Grade 2, fielding 8 runners over the 2-mile trip. 8 flights to jump is the favourite Koktail Brut, taking them along. Followed by Blake and Game Ball, the passing wife, and then the mare Whimsy on the inside as each to their own. Followed over the first flight by Sageborough, and the back marker is Scope to Improve. The leader is Koktail Brut by just over a length to Blake second, 3 parts of a length back to Game Ball in third. Edging the fourth is the passing wife from Whimsy, followed up to the bend by each to their own, with the final couple heading towards the second flight, Sageborough and Scope to Improve. Koktail Brut and Jack Kennedy lead the way to Blake, then a miler. Third is Game Ball and Darrow Key, followed by the passing wife and Keith Donahue, then Whimsy, Alex Harvey and each to their own, who's yet to fully settle under Sean Flanagan. Whimsy took a chance at that second flight, but is okay as they climb up to number 3. Koktail Brut, followed by Blake, Game Ball. On the outside, jumping up is Sageborough, and then each to their own, the passing wife, Whimsy and Scope to Improve, closely grouped as they approach the last in this line, flight number 4. Koktail Brut just leads up to the bend. Blake, Game Ball tracking closely in third, and then the passing wife, each to their own. Sageborough, Whimsy now one from last, and still trading the field as Scope to Improve. 10 furlongs to go. A good round of flight number 5, which will be 4 from the finish. The Bar 1 Royal Bun Novice Hurdle is Koktail Brut in the lead. From Blake, close in second. Third is Game Ball. No changes in the first 3, and then the passing wife, who disputes fourth, with each to their own, with the last 3, Sageborough, Whimsy and Scope to Improve. Continuing downhill towards the halfway stage. Koktail Brut, followed by Blake and Game Ball. No changes there as they pass halfway, then each to their own. The passing wife is 3 behind Sageborough, Whimsy and Scope to Improve. Continuing towards the 4th last flight, and it is Koktail Brut by just over a length to Blake second. Less than 2 lengths back to in third place is Game Ball. Shading the 4th is the passing wife from each to their own, and then Sageborough, Whimsy and Scope to Improve. That was the 4th last flight. Koktail Brut by 3 parts of a length to Blake. Couple clear of Game Ball, the passing wife, each to their own. Sageborough, Scope to Improve relegates Whimsy to be the back marker. They're heading for the 3rd last flight. Koktail Brut, as of yet to be headed, followed by Blake. In third and a little bit closer is Game Ball, followed by the passing wife, and each to their own. Sageborough, Scope to Improve and Whimsy at the flight, bringing them back for the last 2 in the straight. And down there, Scope to Improve, badly hampered was Whimsy. Turning in for the final 2 flights, and it is Koktail Brut by under a length to Blake, nudged along second. Game Ball comes round them, each to their own, ridden along in 4th, and then the passing wife and Sageborough. The leading 3 covered by a length and a half. Koktail Brut, 1 out is Blake and 2 out is Game Ball. They're in line for the 2nd last. As they rise, Koktail Brut and Blake together. Gone on by a couple of lengths to Game Ball, pulling away from the passing wife past the 2. 1 more flight to jump in the Bar 1 Royal Bun Novice, and whips drawn now on the 2 in front. Koktail Brut and Blake on the outside, who's persistent. They've 1 left to jump. It's Koktail Brut from Blake on the outside. The final flight, over which the leader is just Koktail Brut from Blake on the outside, who's very determined. Less than 150 yards to go. They're head and head. The passing wife is coming home powerfully on the outside. They're going to the line. Very close. Koktail Brut and Blake. The passing wife finished quite well behind them in third.
Jack Kennedy's with us after winning the Royal Bun Novice Hurdle. Jack, what a scrap that was. Koktail Brut coming out on top. Were you surprised how hard you had to work for it in the end? He was travelling so sweetly all the way.
He was doing a bit much the whole way. I wasn't too surprised now that there was something going to challenge me up the straight. It was just in my hands the whole way. He was good and tough from the back of the last, yeah.
So, there's a lot of confidence behind him today. Had he come forward from the Punchestown?
Yeah, I suppose, yeah, it was obviously a big step up today. I think he'd be a better horse with a lead, and when you can get him settled, he'll be a better horse again, yeah.
I'm sure a grade 1 will be the next step. Do you think 2 miles would be a good fit for him for now?
I'd say so. He's a strong traveller. he's not short of gears. I know we probably didn't quicken a whole pile up the straight, but like I said, he was after doing plenty the whole way around. So yeah, I'd say 2 miles. He could go up and trip as well either though, yeah.
Got pretty tight between yourself and Dunne there at one stage, isn't it? Nothing given.
No, it was a good tight finish, and yeah, we were good and tight, but yeah, it was great.
Not for the first time.
Yeah, no. So no, thankfully we came out the right side of it anyway.
Mange too, Jack. Pleased by her earlier.
Very pleased. Settled lovely today. Made a couple of little mistakes on the way around. But I wouldn't mind that. I got her out into daylight down over the last 2. She jumped the last 2 very well. So yeah, nice performance. Yeah.
Lovely platform for your 2 big rides coming up on Romeo Coolio and to you. Are all the ducks in a row for both of them? Do you think?
Yeah, hopefully. Anyway, everything's gone well at home. They both seem in good form. So fingers crossed. Yeah.
Good man. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Cheers. Great finish. They were the front 2 all the way around, and Koktail Brut and Blake have crossed the line almost in unison. It looked to me, Don, as though Koktail Brut might have just edged it. They got pretty close together, it seemed, as well on the run in.
Yeah, looks that way.
The passing
right
wife has run a blinder back in 3rd spot. Here we are hitting the line. Koktail Brut on the inside does look to have edged it all right from Blake. And the passing wife, who was a maiden coming into it, has run a screamer for Gavin Cromwell back in 3rd. Game Ball was right in the mix for a long way, but just in the end had to settle for minor honours. So we're expecting to hear Koktail Brut's number 5 called first here. But fascinating race to watch, Don. Here we are. Funny enough, watch on the way round, I wouldn't have been happy at all with the way Blake was travelling, and Koktail Brut's been called the winner.
Yeah.
That was the exit of scope to improve. But Blake, to his credit, hung in there for all that. Koktail Brut travelled much better through the contest. Just talk us through the action here as we're about to swing in.
Yeah, so much going on, Gary. Koktail Brut travelled really well throughout. Blake, as you said, was just been kind of squeezed along, and like you, I expected that he would be the one who would be travelling and use his flat race speed, but he stuck to his task really well. To come down to the second last, looked like Koktail Brut was travelling a little bit better over the second last, but Blake, he stuck to his task really well, comes up on the outside, and actually on the run to the last, it looks like he might go on and win it, all the while the passing wife staying on really strongly. That's just his second run back after a long break. He stayed on well to take 3rd, but here it's toe-to-toe. They've dominated the early exchanges. They were 1st and 2nd for nearly all of the race, really, down to the last. Blake kind of misses it a little bit. Koktail Brut just got away from it a little bit more quickly, but very quickly Blake is back. And it just looks like he maybe hung a little bit to his right there, and Meyer just straightens him out and asks him to go forward again, and he does, but Koktail Brut just stretches his neck out on the far side, and yeah, just got there on the line, but hell of a race between the 2 of them.
Here we are again, down over 2 outs. Koktail Brut, the sweet travelling Koktail Brut, seemed as though he might just be about to burn off Blake going to this one, but Blake, as I say, wasn't going away. Koktail Brut gets the better jump at the last. That might well have proved decisive in the final reckoning here. Just see it down to this final flight. Ahead is the winning margin.
There,
see, just Blake wraps the top of it. And then it was the 2 jockeys, actually. Noel Meade was trying to get the whip into his right hand there, and I think his hand made contact with Jack Kennedy, and no actual contact between the 2 horses. The reins just flapping away a little bit there, but it's Koktail Brut come out on top, Angus, in a thriller.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.